Hello, it's Rose.
Hi there, Barbara here.
Welcome to the bright side of crazy.
It's where we live.
Every single time. So we learned a new word.
We did learn a new word. I think this is a great word. Frenetic, which is fast and energetic in a wild and uncontrolled way.
I think that's us.
I think that is us.
Not so fast anymore for me. Maybe you're faster than me.
My mind and my mouth move rather quickly. Not necessarily my physical body.
So there have been so many things that I have learned from doing this podcast and then editing and then listening to it. And so like the first one, I cringed. The second one that we recorded the first night, we just kind of threw away. You didn't even have the benefit of listening to that hot mess.
Which reminds me, we're going to have to listen to it at some point because I'm sure there was some sort of gold we can mine out there for future use.
Yes, I still have it. But I'm proud of us for just doing it like Gary Vee would advocate for, to do it. And I know you just do it. So there is a few podcast or new podcast making group sort of things on Facebook that I joined. And I've not commented on any of them yet, but these Facebook groups are over analyzing every step of the way from the beginning of the podcast and not doing it. And so I was conflicted after hearing the sound quality of the first one. Do we put this up not being perfect, or do we re-record it and not put that one up? And I decided to just put it up. And so I got a little mixed and perplexed in there because part of me is like, as we fine tune, I kind of don't want people to go all the way back to episode 1 because we're way better now. And we'll get better later as we fine tune and grow. But we're doing it. We put it there.
We did. We jumped out of our comfort zone, not even stepped out of. We just jumped all the way out and did it. And I actually don't have a problem with the way it sounds. I mean, I thought I would when I listened to it, and it was not, I didn't cringe. And I'm like, hey, that's way better than I thought. Although I realized my voice is not at all what I thought it was. And, but if nothing else, if you made it through episode 1 and decided to listen to episode 2 and then 3, we're just going to get better.
Yay!
And so we could always look back and go, hey, you listened to the first one and what did you expect? I'm pretty sure there wasn't liquor involved in the first one. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I beg to differ. I believe there was moonshine the first night.
Was there the first night?
There was.
Would be the same bottle that's sitting next to me now? Reminds me, we're going to need more road trips for local favorites.
Yeah.
We picked this bottle up on a trip out of town, and our next trip is not to an area that I would think of for liquor, so we might have to make a side trip.
And just so you know, we're not alcoholics. We've had this bottle for 2 years now, I think.
Just over a year.
Yeah, just over a year. Okay. And there's still some left, people. It's okay.
It's on the top shelf. We pulled it on down.
So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for continuing to listen or newly listened. But the moral of the story is just freaking do it. Whatever your thing is, just do it. And don't worry about what anyone says. There's always going to be critics. Those critics have nothing to do with you. Do it.
And how many times do you look at a piece of art on a wall that's a dot and you go, I could do that. And this person's making, $100,000. Or you listen to a piece of music or you watch a show and you're like, I could do that. So we can do that. And we are doing that.
Yeah.
So maybe one of these days you're going to sit around and listen to us and go, why in the world is anybody listening to these ladies? And we thank you for that.
We do thank you for that. So speaking of music, tell everybody what happened.
So for the first time in well over 6 months, we got to listen to live music.
Yes!
Yes. So there was a concert here in town. It was a social distancing concert. They've been doing some of these like drive-in things, and I'm still not too sure that I'm hip on that. But this, you actually got to sit in a table. We did have to buy an entire table at a time. And, now that we're fancy, we bought a cabana so that we had a cabana to watch the show. And you had to sit and wear your masks and everything, but everyone was following instructions and having a good time. And of course, the music was awesome. We saw South of Eden, which we've seen several times before. I've been a fan of them since they were known as Black Coffee. And then they had a band from North Carolina come in called Prowess. And I feel like we've seen them before, but I'm not 100%. But they were freaking awesome.
They were.
Yep. So we got to talk with them just a little bit, and hopefully they'll be on the one of our podcasts in the future. But we'll share some of their information. And it was just a really awesome night. Good to get out there and see old friends and new friends and just have live rock and roll again.
It was definitely different. The energy wasn't the same. But what I appreciate, what I love the most about music is the vibration in my body. I don't have to move to feel it. It's a different sort of thing than just audio. For me, it's the vibration in my soul. And it doesn't happen with country music. That makes me sad. Or rap music, which is a whole other thing. I just don't feel it that way. But for this, it was really great. And they are kind of Southern and 70s and rock. And it's really a good sort of mush up of many different, I guess, eras. Yeah.
For sure. But it was a very good time.
It was a very good time.
Glad for it. Check out South of Eden. Check out Prowess. More info on both of them to come. Watch for them. Both of those bands are going places for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, these bands, I feel kind of bad. I mean, even if they are not nationally touring bands, these guys came from North Carolina to do a show in Columbus, Ohio, because there's not anything happening right now. So big props to them for making that journey. I can't imagine that they would have made a ton of money to cover a whole lot of cost coming this far.
Gotcha.
Maybe they did. I don't know what people are paid for that. But how awesome is it that they had a gig finally in all of this time?
Well, and props out to the music community in Central Ohio, because the show sold out. The original show sold out so fast, we didn't get tickets. You had to buy a whole table of 6. We were trying to make sure who was going with whom, so that we didn't all just buy individual tables. And in the meantime, within several hours, tickets were gone. Could not get them, and I was bummed. So within a few days, they added a second show, which actually ended up being the first show. So we actually got to see the first night, which was awesome, and just jumped on it right away. I think I bought the 4th or 5th table. But that show sold out. So 2 nights back to back of rock and roll here in Columbus, Ohio. And like I said, those tickets went fast. We're starving for music. And we're the kind of community that wants to support our local acts, which is awesome. So props to Columbus, props to Flanagan's in Dublin. They did a fantastic job making sure everybody was safe and had a good time. And it was a really good time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So I still feel it in my soul, and I can't wait for what's next. And it's nice. I mean, there are some bars that are doing some shows here or there, and that doesn't feel as good to me or as safe to go into. Right. This was just really well done. It was outside. There was enough space. There were rules to adhere to. There was no belligerent people trying to make a thing about it. It was just
And I was really
easy.
glad for that. I figured there were a couple people that kind of started pushing it towards the end, several buckets of beer in. But still, all in all, was just a very good time. And like I said, people weren't pushing the rules, and which allowed this to continue, and hopefully we'll have more in the future. So don't fuck it up for everybody else.
Right. So that's that. Support your local musicians however you can. I don't know if some of the local bands were able to get that unemployment money. I think that contractors and like the Grubhub people, or I guess Uber people, Grubhub was still very well going, but the gig workers were able to get it. But if you didn't have an established business as a band, I don't know if you would have qualified for that. So South of Eden may have, since I think they had gotten a contract just before that.
Yeah, I do not know how that works, but
yeah.
It was also nice to see some of the local stagehands there. They've all been out of work for literally the entire time of the pandemic. They lost their jobs first, and I know a few of the gentlemen that were there, and they actually volunteered their time just to help make sure this went on. So not only support your local bands, but the bands, put other people to work that aren't associated with them. So it was really great to have the music going again, and, getting goosebumps thinking about it. I can't wait for the next show. So more music to come.
Yeah. It was just great, and I'm so happy, and we're not out of the woods with any of this. COVID doesn't have an expiration date, apparently, and it's a whole lot of the unknown. And right now, this is what we got, and it wasn't, standing up close to the stage or bumping up against each other, which is totally fine with me, too. But the energy of that was lacking for me, but it did not take away from the experience in any way. No. It was respectful and honorable and thrilling. Maybe
fucking rock and roll!
A good first step to dip your toe back in.
And I did talk to some people. We had someone back out literally hours before the show. So I was trying to reach out to some of our people to see who might want to take this extra ticket. And I had some people, that just were not ready to go out to a big concert yet. And which I understand. I was surprised, the person that I had asked that, was goes to way more shows even than I do. And, but she wasn't quite ready. And so hopefully the fact that we were there and we can talk about it and spread the word how well it was done, that, we can have some more, and maybe other venues will learn and make it happen.
Yeah, I had never been to Flanagan's before. I had driven down Sawmill and I saw all the volleyball courts, so I felt it was just like a sports bar. I had never been in there to see like all that was on that other side. So it's really a kind of cool place, honestly.
It is. This was also one of the first times that I think they've done more of our genre of music. So, which brought us there. But now that I've experienced it and, I feel like I know what's going on there now, I definitely will be back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the owner sounds like an upstanding dude. He got up and spoke and appreciated the crowd for, making everything go smoothly and easily, and his appreciation for South of Eden and how he was blown away by them a month or so ago where they did a video or some live broadcast there.
So what else do you have going on?
Oh my goodness. So, as we were talking about your online dating saga, I know that I am not ready to date. I have a lot of ridiculous rules, and like the guy that I find is going to be, I don't know, a needle in a haystack. And I know that, but I am perfectly fine living by myself forever and ever. So it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not in a rush.
One of these days you might find Nikola Tesla reincarnated.
Oh, my boyfriend, I know. I posted something on Facebook about Nikola Tesla again a few days ago. And anytime I see something about my boyfriend, who is Nikola Tesla, who is the perfect boyfriend because he doesn't want anything from me. So
nothing at all.
I would like to find a Nikola Tesla impersonator. So if there is one, I've looked, I can't find one. But if there is one, please contact me at rose@brightsideofcrazy.com. I have a job for you, sir.
Oh, I'm not touching that. Wait, actually I will, and I'll film it.
On Facebook. Facebook is like the gold mine for everything. You know, it is. There's good stuff on there, and then there's the lowest of the dregs of society. Is that a word? Am I making up words again?
No, you're not making up words.
Wow. There was a Facebook ad that this psychic, and I'm not going to say her name because I'm not giving her any credit because she did a shitty job. But so she says that for $24, she will sketch my soulmate and let me know when I will meet this man and details about him.
Oh, please do tell.
So I got the sketch. Average guy, not hideous, not Nikola Tesla.
No, definitely not Nikola Tesla.
I will be happy to post the picture for you in case any of you know this man.
And what are some of the traits of this man?
Okay. Thank you for the order. The person revealed as being your soulmate is a man who wants rules and laws. Does that sound like that's what I want? No.
You have lots of rules, though. So.
I have lots of rules, but I don't live by other rules. So the rules that I have are like, if you're holding up a picture of, if you, in your profile picture, you have something dead, I don't feel safe. It's rules like that. You know, if you get a cigarette hanging out of your mouth, no. If you have your shirt off and you're not at a beach, no. Rules like that. Common sense rules, I feel. But whatever. To each his own.
The shirt off thing is not a common sense rule. I have weird things about shirtless men in certain situations, but go ahead. That's a whole other conversation. Please, what did this psychic tell you about your soulmate?
He likes to set limits to form structures.
Oh,
okay.
Boy.
Yeah. To set limit and to form structures. So if he's an architect, okay. But if you're going to form structures around me, good luck.
Right?
He is a great builder. Okay, again, architect, maybe. Maybe he works with his hands. That's cool. He will always seek to have a strong foundation. Okay, I dig that.
He works at the Lego store. Go ahead.
That would be awesome. Oh my God. Your soulmate is renowned for his patience and discipline. He will need it for me.
Absolutely.
Yes. And professionalism. He gets a lot of appreciation from people because of his diplomatic way of being. I like that. Okay. That's all right. He is hardworking and ambitious. That's good. Aspiring to create something that will stand the test of time. And he detests the idea of being financially dependent on others. Well, thank God. Right. He will seek for social recognition for his achievements. I
was going to say, that's not your guy.
That is not my guy. I hate that about people who give just to have the accolades for themselves. No.
Right.
Okay. In a relationship, he does not express his feelings easily.
Right? So
No.
he's going to build structures around you and not express his feelings. I'm not feeling good about this.
No. He has more of a conservative mind. No. However, he is capable to offer tons of good feelings and make sure you understand this. He can build a solid, realistic relationship. He is highly compatible with you, giving rise to a feeling of mutual appreciation. For this reason, this love match is likely to be particularly successful. Your soulmate is like a pariah in the office and a big, soft teddy bear at home. So he's an asshole where he works.
Right?
No. I don't like two-faced people. Be who the fuck you're going to be.
Right.
That's it. So, no. This big, soft teddy bear knows exactly what you said and when you said it. Okay, I can recite everything everybody has ever said to me, pretty much. So I get that because I'm like, it is a shield and I will direct that right at you when I am pissed. So if I need a little back, maybe that's true. Okay, I can accept that. He'll admire your supportiveness of him working around the clock. He's also conservative with a small c. I don't know why conservative is brought up again, but I don't like it at all. And absolutely hates being embarrassed in public. Well, now.
So I already have a problem with your future boyfriend because he is not going to like me because being around me in public can lend you to being embarrassed on a fairly regular basis.
He will always like to have an impeccable image. He's not going to the grocery store with me in sweats. That's what that means. And I am not dressing up to go to the grocery store with him. No.
It sounds like he's fake.
It sounds like he's fake. So here's where it gets really good.
Oh.
Please be aware that opening the path for this drawing is the equivalent of turning your face to the universe, to your soul. The information you received is confidential, and you should not, let me flip the page, release to any other soul because the consequences could lead to an energy blockage in your aura and will interfere the connection between you and him. I have no problem interfering in this connection.
I was going to say, you've done screwed it up already.
Right now, your vibrations aren't aligned or calibrated towards each other. So it may take 5 months before you meet each other.
So for another $24, could she help align your vibration?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it was more than $24, but
Okay.
I want no part of this man.
No, he does not sound like
He is not
your
my
match.
guy. And I did reply with a laughing emoji and said, this is not my soulmate.
No,
and I would
certainly
like
not.
a refund. And I did not hear anything back. It's been a few weeks, but
You sat on this for weeks?
I did. I totally forgot about it last week. But yes, if my energy is aligned with him in 5 weeks, that means I've become clinically depressed and something has happened.
And you've turned into an asshole, and I will tell you about yourself.
Thank you.
It won't even cost you $24.
I could not imagine my energy being aligned with this person.
That does not sound like your person at all.
No. Don't order from psychics on Facebook. Check.
Don't think that was anything that you had to worry about with me.
I've never ordered anything from a psychic. I just felt this looked really fun. So in the comments, there was a lot like, oh my God, I can't believe I've met my guy. And so then other people would say, was it a Facebook person? Like, did she go to your Facebook profile and find somebody that looked like it? And they're like, no. But there was a ton of comments. So a lot of people ordered from this woman and got some sketch. And some people did post theirs after they met the guy. And I thought that maybe, I mean, this is a very generic looking sort of thing. I can't draw stick people, so props to her if she drew it or like just did I don't know. There's probably an app for that.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it looks like a human face, and I could not draw that, so that's good.
Nope, I cannot either.
So whoever he is, he looks very nice. Not my guy.
Nope, not your guy.
Based on the description. So I'm already screwed because I'm sharing it with everybody anyway, but I don't want you, dude.
And the good news is, though, if you do find this guy, it sounds like he does not like being dependent on other people financially, so he's not going to send you requests for money.
Do you have an experience, Barbara?
Well, I shared last week about that I finally got
that's right.
request for money for money from the fake guy I found online. And of course I went into it thinking he was fake. Took 2 weeks to get the request for money. I actually got it. And I've decided that I'm wasting their time as much as they're wasting mine. I also might need a hobby. So I've managed to keep this man on the hook a whole nother week. So first there was an accident and he needed money for the person that was injured in the accident. And then it turned into he was going to be charged in the accident if he didn't pay for their treatment. Then over the weekend, he himself is now in the hospital in another country. He sent me a picture from a hospital bed. And I'm less nice. I'm still playing completely dumb with him. But yeah, so yet again, today was another request. Please send money via Western Union. Here's the doctor's name. The name of the doctor is also a boxer in the same country. So I don't know. I'm getting closer, but yeah, so that's the current situation there. I've kept him on a whole nother week. So if nothing else, I'm wasting his time. And it gives us something to talk about.
Right.
We'll have a whole segment.
Fakeity, fake people. I love how, I don't love how the pandemic is giving people new ways to think about things, but it does offer that for sure. And
good and bad.
Good and bad, for sure. So I'm a Valley girl again, for sure.
I was just thinking that. You said for sure a lot. Now you've got me saying it as well.
So I found today that there's this Airbnb in Hell, Michigan that is renting out a tiny house that is really just, it looks like a chapel with one room with this Gothic looking bed in it. And it's really well done. And with this one night stay at this Airbnb, you get to be the mayor, or Hell, Michigan doesn't have a mayor, so you get to be the honorary mayor for the day that you are there. And
that sounds neat.
It does. So who thought of this? The Airbnb owner obviously thought of this, but just to brighten people up and to just bring a smile on your face. You don't even have to stay there. The pictures are pretty awesome. It's only $31 a night, and they're only doing it for a very limited time. And I don't know if it's just the honorary mayor part that they're doing for a temporary time. But if you think and expand outside your normal thought processes, you get to grow. And I think that that's what kind of like what we do every week. And when talking about this before, you had talked about the guys who go by and pick up dog poop. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of things that people need done or would like to do, and they stop themselves because it's not been done before, or it's not been done in a certain way before.
But inventors are always doing new things and failing, hopefully failing forward, discovering what didn't work and moving forward. So we are going to fail forward. Hopefully not fail at all, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's just get out there and do it.
Yeah, so I wonder what people could think about in their lives who are, maybe down and out right now and feeling sort of low about losing their job and what they could create that doesn't really take any money. Like this podcast took a very little investment, like $25 investment.
Well, I think you also had a lot of the equipment and things for some of the other things you already do. So it might have been a bigger investment for other people if we were starting out. But still, I understand. Yeah. Monetarily, not a large amount.
I think that there's room for a brand new growth opportunity. And normally, when you say something about inventors and failing up, I would mention Edison and his 99 light bulbs. But because we've already invoked Tesla's name, I can't talk about Edison in the same episode because I might get struck by lightning later by my boyfriend. So can't do that.
I purposely did not mention Edison. That was who I had in mind as I was saying that, but I know how you feel about him. And how your boyfriend feels about him. So.
But there's lots of opportunities out there and lots of new things that are ready to be birthed into the world because we can't keep doing things the same way anymore. It just doesn't work the same anymore. And the old mind just needs to be stripped away.
Absolutely. Everything's changing.
And it's not going to go back to what it was before. It can be better.
I'm hoping it's better. Hopefully we'll learn a lot from what's going on and move forward in a positive way.
Yeah, so today I had a thought and I was going to roll with it. And then I thought that maybe the consequences were too great, so I aborted the mission. So I thought, so how can I go to another country and ask for asylum? And so I picked New Zealand, and I don't know why I picked New Zealand. They speak English, and it seems pretty cool. I don't know. So for New Zealand, you already have to be there to seek asylum. So you've got to go into the country illegally and then seek asylum. But one of the causes to seek asylum is degrading treatment by your government. I feel like the country, the government of our country, no matter who is in charge, it's kind of degrading.
Kind of.
Kind of.
That seems like it's kind of subjective.
Correct.
I mean, I'm sure you can't just say, I feel degraded, and they say, okay, come on in.
Or maybe in this time of chaos, to make a statement, they would. So I don't know how New Zealand feels about the United States right now.
I can't speak of New Zealand, but I have a Facebook friend in Australia, and we were discussing just lightly, I had mentioned the embarrassment that is the governmental climate right now. And actually, it was actually right after the debate, the day after the debate that we were speaking. And so I mentioned that it's kind of embarrassing how our government is acting right now, or the people in our government. And his response was, I know, we're watching.
Yeah.
So it's embarrassing enough to think about what other countries think about us, but then have someone say, yeah, we're watching. Yeah. We didn't delve into it any deeper, but just,
yeah,
I was kind of embarrassed again.
Yeah. You don't need to go any deeper. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then I thought, well, first of all, you have to be there again. So I can't do it from this distance. And so I thought about calling or sending an email. And then I thought, what are the consequences of doing this? So I think it's all funny now, but if this story gets picked up by the news media that a United States citizen, Rose Life, who there is no other of that I know of, has applied for help to leave the country based on this idea, gets out, then I'm going to maybe have people in my front yard. Maybe. And then, so let's say I successfully go to New Zealand.
Which she's not going to do.
Right. So I have a grandchild here. How do I come back to the country?
I don't think you can.
Right.
I mean, if you go seeking asylum, I don't think you can come back.
And then not to mention the people who really do need asylum, whose lives are in danger that I would be taking their place of.
Right.
My life is not in danger. It's just a shit show here right now. Right. Whatever. So I halted in sending that email.
It's probably good. But I wonder how many, there was a lot of talk 4 years ago.
I'm going to Canada.
I wonder how many people packed up and went to Canada.
Probably not a lot.
Probably not a lot.
But I get it. Change is difficult, and you don't know what the next person is going to bring in. They're all hot air to get elected, and what are the results after? And it's not always the president's fault. Sometimes it's the Senate and the Congress not working together and arguments there, and worried more about what party they're in than the people that they represent. And I'm just physically exhausted by the lack of humanity.
Absolutely.
In all of it.
And how much extra work is there, with the political climate the way it is? Instead of just getting from point A to point B, we've got to go all the way to Q and back again.
Mm-hmm.
And then, now it's time for a break, and we'll put that on the back burner until we come back from our recess.
Yeah.
So
with Trump being diagnosed with COVID and having Mike Pence there, and now worried about him, and the two are incapacitated, then we have Nancy Pelosi, and I don't think that she is necessarily any better. I mean, she has some snide, nitpicky comments that are very unhelpful to the cause as well. And we put her in power, then we have this whole implosion of things that could possibly happen. And there's just no good answer.
No.
It all sucks.
It does. Took us a long time to get in this predicament, and it's not going to be a quick fix to get us out either.
Yeah. So the only thing that I cling to is my spirituality. And I know that there are gods of destruction who are put here to clear the path for something new. So if we have been on the path of destruction, and maybe we'll continue that with whoever is next. I'd like off the ride, though. I'd like the destruction to be done.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited for what happens after the destruction. And I don't know that the destruction is full on this president. I think that it takes a long time to build that for a while. So I'm not pointing out one particular person after another. I just know that this sucks ass right now.
Great way to put it, Rose.
And I would like it to be over.
That would be nice. I do not see that being over anytime soon.
I don't think so either.
But you're not going to New Zealand.
I'm not going to New Zealand. I would like to go on vacation, though.
We could go visit.
It looks absolutely beautiful. And Australia, too. I think New Zealand first, though.
I say if we go all the way to New Zealand, it makes no sense to not just hop on over to Australia. You're halfway around, more than halfway around the freaking globe at that point. I guess you can only go halfway before you're closer again.
It's called a globe.
I get it. You can only go halfway around before you start your way back. I get it.
I halted that action, although it seemed really like a good idea at the time. But I did fully think this one through before I let the consequences of it get the better of me.
That's good. Very good.
So what are the bright side of things today?
The world is coming back. I am confident that we're going to start coming out of this pandemic. Music's coming back. The election, one way or another, is going to be over and decided in less than a month. Mm-hmm. The world is going to change. Hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
Moving forward. That's the bright side.
And another bright side is just doing it, being fearless of mistakes and blah, 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 the crazy self-talk in your head about how you're not ready or it's not going to be good enough. Maybe that's just my self-talk. Maybe you have better self-talk.
No. We both have had things over the years that we've allowed to get bogged down with. We don't have all the information and we don't have this and we don't have that. And in the meantime, there's a whole generation of kids making $1 million by doing dumb shit. You know what? I do dumb shit all the time for free.
And we forget to film it. Until now.
Until now. A little scared of what's going out there now.
So it is. The destruction can't last forever. And there's always something beautiful that comes out of an ending when you really think about it.
Sure. Absolutely.
There's a lot of endings coming up. The election, not necessarily the president. The president may or may not change. But the election and all of the angst and that goes along with it. Be over. The year is going to be over soon.